7 isometric exercises that transform your body even after 50. In a world where everything moves quickly and we're sold the idea that more movement equals more results, there exists a silenced truth, a practice so simple yet powerful that has been used by physical therapists, elite athletes, and elderly people to recover strength, balance, and vitality without risking their joints or health. These exercises require no weights, no machines, and no large spaces, just your body, your breathing, and a few seconds of conscious resistance. Well, I confess that these seconds don't pass so quickly when we're in these positions, but the fact is that simply by maintaining a static position, you activate deep muscle fibers that no other exercise can touch. Today, you'll see the power of active stillness, discovering 7 isometric exercises that will completely change your body, regardless of your current age. Before we begin, tell me in the comments your name and how long you've been training. Exercise number 1, Superman. The Superman is one of the most complete isometric exercises for strengthening what we call the core, the center of your body, which includes abdominals, spinal erectors, and deep muscles of the lower back region. After 50, core strength becomes even more crucial, not just for posture, but to prevent one of the most common problems at this age, lower back pain. What makes this exercise particularly valuable is its ability to strengthen the spine without overloading it. A strong core functions as a natural corset that supports your spine, significantly reducing pressure on the intervertebral discs. This is especially important for people who have spent decades sitting in offices or driving. To execute it correctly, lie face down on a comfortable mat. Extend your arms forward as if you were flying. Now, simultaneously raise your arms and legs a few inches from the floor. The secret is to keep your head aligned with your spine, looking down, not forward. Hold this position for 15 to 30 seconds, breathing normally. A common mistake I see many people make is excessively arching the lower back. Your spine should form a straight line, and the elevation of your limbs doesn't need to be very high. About 4 inches is enough to properly activate the muscles. Remember that the quality of the contraction is more important than the time. Start with 3 sets of 15 seconds, resting 30 seconds between each set. As you get stronger, gradually increase to 30 seconds. To progress even further, you can alternate between raising just your arms, just your legs, and both together in sequence, without resting. Exercise number 2, isometric push-up. Traditional push-ups are excellent exercises, but they can represent a considerable challenge for sensitive joints, especially after 50. The isometric version eliminates the repetitive movement that can stress the shoulders and elbows, while maintaining all the benefits for the chest, shoulders, and triceps. The beauty of this exercise lies in its ability to strengthen the chest muscles and shoulder stabilizers without repetitive impact. For people over 50, this means joint protection with efficient muscle development. A strong chest isn't just aesthetic, it improves your posture, facilitates daily activities, and prevents the typical forward curvature of the shoulders that accompanies aging. To execute it correctly, you have 2 initial options. The first is to assume the plank position with arms extended, as if at the top of a traditional push-up. Maintain this position for 20 to 30 seconds. The second option, for those seeking greater intensity, is to lower to the halfway point of the push-up movement and hold that position. What many people don't know is that the intermediate position generates more muscle tension than the fully extended or fully flexed positions. This happens because the muscle is at an optimal length for force production, thus reaching more muscle fibers. For beginners, I recommend starting with isometric push-ups against the wall, progressing to an elevated surface like a table, and finally, to the floor. Start with 3 sets of 15 seconds, gradually increasing to 30 seconds or more. An effective progression is to alternate between different heights of the isometric push-up during the same session. A common error is allowing the body to sink, especially in the lower back region. Maintain a straight line from the heels to the head. Another frequent error is holding your breath. Continue breathing normally throughout the isometric contraction. When you include isometric push-ups in your routine, you not only strengthen the chest, but also improve shoulder stability and increase triceps strength, muscles we naturally lose with age if we don't train them properly. Exercise number 3, wall sit. The wall sit is perhaps the most well-known isometric exercise, and for good reason. It strengthens the quadriceps, glutes, and core extremely efficiently, without placing the pressure on joints that a traditional dynamic squat imposes. One of the greatest benefits of this exercise for people over 50 is its joint safety. Unlike traditional squats that can generate considerable stress on the knees during the transition phase, the isometric wall sit distributes tension more uniformly and in a controlled manner. This makes it a way to strengthen the quadriceps that is less aggressive to the knee and joints. To execute it correctly, stand with your back against a wall, stepping away about 12 inches from it. Slide down until your knees form an angle of approximately 90 degrees, as if sitting in an invisible chair. Your feet should be shoulder-width apart and pointing slightly outward. The crucial part is keeping your back fully supported against the wall. The ease of execution is another great differential of this exercise. You can do it literally anywhere that has a wall, at home, in the office, in a hotel during travels. This practicality eliminates the excuse of lack of equipment or space to exercise. For beginners, start maintaining the position for just 15 seconds, resting 30 seconds, and repeating 3 times. As your strength increases, gradually increase the time until you can maintain the position for 60 continuous seconds. An interesting progression is to add small pulses of just 1 to 2 inches without losing the basic isometric tension. The secret is to direct your focus to the conscious contraction of the quadriceps throughout the exercise. You should feel a progressive burning sensation, but not joint pain. If you feel knee pain, adjust the height of the position to a higher level until you find a comfortable position. A mistake I see many people make is going down too much, placing the knees at an angle less than 90 degrees, which unnecessarily increases joint pressure. Another common mistake is letting the knees go beyond the line of the toes, which also increases joint stress. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with long-term health in the world of bodybuilding. Exercise number 4, isometric glute bridge. Many men tend to neglect glute training because they believe it's a woman's thing. This is one of the biggest misconceptions in the fitness world, especially for people over 50. In fact, strong glutes are essential to prevent lower back and knee pain, acting as fundamental stabilizers of the pelvis and spine. What makes the glutes so important? When weak walking mechanics are altered, causing other structures to compensate. The knees suffer excessive internal rotation and the lower back assumes loads it shouldn't bear. Over time, this results in chronic pain that many mistakenly attribute solely to age, when in reality it's a matter of weakened musculature. Did you know that the gluteus maximus is the largest muscle in the human body? This means that, when training it, you activate a huge amount of muscle mass, which has a direct relationship with the EPIC effect, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, the increase in metabolism that continues burning calories hours after training. In simple terms, those who choose not to train this muscle are giving up not only functionality, but also a potent metabolic ally. To execute the isometric glute bridge correctly, lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Elevate your hips, forming a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. The secret is not to elevate too much, as this can overload the lower back. Keep the glutes firmly contracted in this elevated position for 20 to 30 seconds. A common error is letting the hip drop during the exercise or excessively arching the lower back. Another frequent error is activating the lower back more than the glutes. To ensure proper muscle recruitment, imagine that you're squeezing a coin between your glutes throughout the exercise. For beginners, start with 3 sets of 20 seconds, resting 30 seconds between them. As you progress, increase to 45 to 60 seconds of isometry. For a greater challenge, try raising one extended leg while maintaining the position, alternating legs without lowering the hip. Remember that breathing is fundamental. Don't hold your breath during the isometric contraction. Breathe naturally, concentrating on maintaining tension in the glutes, not in the lower back. You'll know you're doing it correctly when you feel the warming mainly in the glutes, with little or no sensation in the lower back. Regular practitioners of this exercise report not only improvement in pre-existing lower back pain, but also greater ease in getting up from chairs, climbing stairs, and maintaining balance, fundamental skills for maintaining autonomy as age advances. Exercise number 5, bar hang. Few exercises offer as many benefits in a single position as the bar hang. This isometric exercise, although challenging, provides a unique combination of benefits for people over 50, working not just the arms and back, but also offering one of the best effects for the spine, decompression. Over the years, gravity gradually compresses our spine, reducing the space between vertebrae. This can result in pain, stiffness, and even height reduction. The bar hang allows the spine to naturally elongate under the body's own weight, temporarily reversing this compression and relieving pressure on the intervertebral discs. Another crucial benefit, especially after 50, is the increase in grip strength. As we age, grip strength tends to decrease significantly, affecting our ability to perform simple tasks like opening jars or firmly holding objects. Studies show that grip strength is an important indicator of longevity and quality of life. The bar, hang intensely, works the forearm muscles responsible for this function. Additionally, this exercise promotes a significant improvement in upper limb mobility. The elongated position activates shoulder-stabilizing muscles often neglected in other exercises, contributing to better range of motion and reduced risk of injuries. To execute it correctly, find a firm horizontal bar. Grasp the bar with palms facing forward, hands shoulder-width apart. Lift your feet off the floor and let your body hang, maintaining a slight activation of the arm and back muscles. For beginners, start with hangs of just 10 seconds, performing 3 sets with 30 seconds of rest between them. If it's still too challenging, you can start with your feet lightly supported on the floor, gradually reducing the support until you can fully suspend yourself. A common error is excessively tensing the shoulders, elevating them toward the ears. Try to relax the shoulders downward while maintaining the necessary tension in the arms. Another error is holding your breath. Continue breathing normally throughout the hang. As your strength increases, increase the time to 20, 30, and eventually 45 seconds. An interesting progression is to practice pendular breathing. Inhale deeply while slightly relaxing the body, and exhale while more intensely activating the back and abdominal muscles. Exercise number 6. Reverse plank. The reverse plank is an isometric exercise often underestimated, but which offers exceptional benefits, especially for people over 50. Unlike the traditional plank that focuses primarily on the anterior core, the inverted version intensely works the posterior body, back, glutes, and posterior part of the legs. What makes this exercise particularly valuable is its ability to strengthen the posterior postural muscles, precisely those that tend to weaken over the years due to the excessive time we spend sitting. This weakening results in the typical forward curved posture we see in many older people. To execute it correctly, sit on the floor with your legs extended forward. Position your hands on the floor behind your hips, with fingers pointing toward your feet or slightly outward. Raising your hips, create a straight line from your heels to your shoulders. Your head should remain neutral, neither hanging back nor forcing the chin to the chest. The beauty of this exercise lies in its ability to simultaneously recruit various often neglected muscle groups. The spinal erectors are activated to keep the trunk straight, while the hamstrings and glutes work to sustain the elevation of the hip. For beginners, start by maintaining the position for 15 seconds, performing 3 sets with 30 seconds of rest between them. As your strength increases, progress to 30 and eventually 45 continuous seconds. An effective progression is to alternately raise one leg while maintaining the basic position, which significantly increases the demand for stability and strength. For an even greater challenge, try small steps with your feet, moving them a few inches forward and backward without losing the elevated position of the hip. Remember that the quality of the contraction is more important than absolute time. You'll know you're doing it correctly when you feel the work mainly in the back of the thighs and in the back, with a sensation of stability instead of excessive tension in the wrists or shoulders. A common error is letting the hip drop, losing the straight line of the body. Another frequent error is elevating excessively, creating an inclination that places unnecessary stress on the shoulders and wrists. The key is to maintain constant tension in the posterior muscles, feeling them actively work throughout the exercise. Regular practitioners of this exercise report significant improvement in posture and reduction of back pain, as well as greater ease in activities that require posterior body strength, such as getting up from low positions or climbing stairs. Exercise number 7, isometric calf raise. The calves are often called the second heart of the body, and not without reason. These muscles act as secondary pumps that help propel blood back to the heart, working against gravity. After 50, the strength and functionality of the calves become even more crucial for circulatory health and general mobility. What many people don't realize is that the calves are extremely important for balance, especially as we age. Studies demonstrate that the strength of this musculature is directly related to body stability and prevention of falls. This information is particularly relevant considering that, after a certain age, a fall can mean the end of independence for many people. Another fascinating aspect of the calves is their natural resistance. Being muscles that we use constantly for walking and standing, they have a high proportion of slow-twitch fibers, resistant to fatigue. This means they can be trained more frequently than other muscle groups, up to 3 to 4 times a week, without risk of overtraining. To execute the isometric calf raise correctly, position yourself on the tips of your toes, ideally with the front part of your feet on an elevated surface like a step, allowing the heels to drop below the level of the toes for greater range. Raise yourself to the maximum contraction of the calves and maintain this position. The secret is in finding the ideal height that generates sufficient tension without destabilizing your balance. You can initially support yourself lightly on a wall or chair for greater stability, gradually reducing this support as your strength and balance improve. For beginners, start with 3 sets of 20 seconds in the elevated position with 30 seconds of rest between them. As your strength increases, progress to 30, 45, and eventually 60 continuous seconds. An interesting progression is to alternate between 3 positions during the same exercise: parallel feet, slightly turned outward, and slightly turned inward. You'll know you're doing it correctly when you feel an increasing burning in the calves without pain in the ankle joints. The sensation should be one of intense contraction, not cramp or acute discomfort. A common error is swaying the body or using other muscles to compensate for fatigue in the calves. Keep the body straight and the tension focused specifically on the target muscles. Another frequent error is not exploring different foot positions. The calves have 2 main portions that are recruited to different degrees depending on the positioning. To vary the stimulus even more, try performing the exercise with just one leg at a time, which not only increases the intensity, but also helps correct strength imbalances between the right and left sides of the body, something common in people who have had previous injuries or favor one side when walking. If you liked this, and also want to discover how to boost the results of these exercises with the only supplement worth taking, we've left a video appearing right now on the screen showing what really happens to your body when taking creatine after 50. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching this far, and God bless you, my friend.